The Building Better Relationships Journal and Meditation. We created the Building Better Relationships Journal and Meditation so you can magnetize the better relationships you want and focus on the positive role that you have in creating a better life through your relationships. We are excited for you to discover the gold within you that can help you manifest the love we all crave. The Building Better Relationships Journal has coaching questions that help you listen to the truth of what you want and what helps you to be empowered in love. The Building Better Relationships meditation is designed to strengthen your heart's ability to be that change you wish to see in the world. Why not download it now and think of it as a gift to those you love? If you love journaling and meditation, this is for you. Building Better Relationships at Home and at Work with Angela and Patti podcast. This is Patti, a leadership and work-life balance coach from Arizona, USA.
And this is Angela, love and relationship coach from Sydney, Australia. And we are building better relationships with you.
Sharing new perspectives on being heart-centered at home and at work.
So you can draw on your inner power to make your relationships and the world a better place to be around. And welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining. And hi, Patti. Good to see you. It's been a while.
You too.
Yeah.
It has been a while. We're so happy to be back and share about what we've been doing and what we're going to be doing in the future.
It's so good to be back after our break as well. So, Patti, maybe you can start by sharing why we've been away and what we've been up to.
Well, both Angela and I have been doing some different things, different adventures with our business. I've been on quite a few podcasts, and I've been working on my YouTube channel, making different videos on that, and just doing all kinds of different things that I've never done in the past. And so that's been exciting. And I was working on my podcast that I do, Exploring Life and Work with Patti. Also.
Great. And I just put up the YouTube video channel as well, Coaching for Inspiration with Patti. So people can check out Patti's podcast there. There's the Building Better Relationship episodes there, and Patti's Exploring Work and Life on Coaching for Inspiration. And I've been very busy on my new ebook, The Empaths Guide, How to Stop Taking on Other People's Energy. And I started a Facebook group as well for energy healing and dance healing. So I'm doing the live classes in Sydney. I also have some online dance energy healing classes, which use the energy healing principles in the online form. And so people can find out about that in the link in the show notes. And we're going to be touching on a very important topic today. So I might just hand over to Patti to share on our topic for the episode.
So today's topic is trust yourself. How to defend what's right or wrong with you. So using your intuition and really understanding what direction do we need to go in? Are we heading in the right way, or is there a detour that needs to be done? Or just listening to what our intuition is telling us. Is this right for me? And really reflect on, if things aren't going the way that you want them to go, am I going in the right direction? Maybe what needs to change to get me on the right path of where I want to be.
And we started this podcast years ago with one of our episodes called When to Say Yes and When to Say No. It's one of our most popular episodes. So now in these times of dramatic change, if you haven't noticed, have you noticed any change in the world, Patti?
A lot.
It becomes more important to know what your yes is and what your no is. And what I've noticed is that a lot of people are not trusting themselves in these times. So we also started these podcasts pretty much because Divine told us to, or our intuition told us to do it. And after I got cancer, I think I was in hospital messaging Patti saying, we've got to get back to the podcast. So our goal is to put positivity into the world and to help people trust that inner self is really important in these times, because if you can't trust your inner self, how are you going to make decisions?
Mhm.
Life coaching is about helping you make decisions, but underneath that, it's about cultivating a very, very deep, profound connection to yourself. And so you don't just trust yourself, you feel yourself, you know yourself. That's what I also do in the dance healing. I help people to cultivate that deep feeling of themselves so that in a moment of danger or in a moment of making a decision, you can make a decision without having to think. It's something that you know and you feel it inside.
Mhm.
So, Patti, I wonder if you could share on anything I just shared, or do you want to go to one of our first questions? We ask questions in coaching to help people get that deeper connection. What would you like to
Sure.
share on?
Oh, and one of the other things that I wanted to share before I asked the question is we changed our format. We're live now, whereas before in the past it was recorded, because we want to interact more with you, our audience. So I hope you join us live. If you don't, you'll hear and see the recording as well.
And if you want to put questions in the chat, we've got YouTube Live and Facebook Live, so I'm watching the comments as well. If you want to put any questions or answers to our questions that we offer you, you can pop them in the chat.
Yes. So my first question is how can we learn to trust our intuition when making decisions at home or at work, especially when those decisions might conflict with others' expectations? So, you want to trust your intuition. It's telling you what you want to do, but you know that maybe the people around you aren't going to like what you're going to say or do. So, Angela, what would you like to share about this question?
I think this is a fundamental question of our times. Obviously, there's a lot of change in our world that really upsets people at the moment. And one of the things we can naturally go to is complaining, which is natural. It's hard to face a decision of someone else when you disagree with it, and you can get anger and lots of other emotions. But what about if it's you're making a decision that's going to make somebody angry, and you know that? Or if you have a conflict with someone because you want to move forward in a direction and it's not going to make them happy. This is one of the tests of really, are you going to sacrifice your needs to make somebody else happy? And Patti and I have done several podcasts about people pleasing. And it's a sort of habit that we all grow up with because we have families and we like to make them happy. But at some point in your personal life or professional life, you will come to these decision points. And if you don't do it at some point in a relationship where you actually start sticking up for what is your yes, what is right for you, at some point it's going to come later in your life. So Patti and I are older. So we've had the gift of age and experience where when we sacrificed what we wanted, it came back later anyway. So this I can just share is one of the things to learn is whenever you sacrifice yourself, it's not a problem. It's not a bad thing. It's a learning experience for later for you to learn what you do need to put in place to actually say, look, this is my decision and I'm going to go ahead with it and stop the cycle of guilt or, oh no, that person's going to be upset with me, or what am I going to do if they get angry? So one of the tools that I use and Patti uses as well is intuition, and we use it in our coaching work to help people cultivate that. Sometimes actually Patti uses the work-life balance cards, and they are affirmation cards, but they actually also can work for me. I use them as an oracle or as a way to help clarify what am I feeling inside when I'm in conflict, and what do I really want? But because my emotions are saying, don't do that because this person will get upset and you're going to be seen as a bad person. So I use the affirmation cards sometimes to really just start to clarify what is my intuition trying to tell me. And also through coaching, we do work. I use Coach Patti's work-life balance workshop, 21 Days to Optimal Work-Life Balance, with the coaching questions to start really looking at where are the areas of my life that I'm neglecting. And that's important as well to start looking at, because your intuition will often try to get your attention if there's a part of your life that you're neglecting. So, Patti, would you like to share on how we can trust our intuition? What strategies that you've done to trust your intuition, or how you've used coaching to help that?
Yeah, so a lot of times I'll be thinking, okay, what is really going on? And sometimes the answers come to you. They'll come to you in different ways, like different things come up repeatedly in you while you're going through maybe something that you're thinking about. You'll see certain things that are telling you and nudging you a certain way, right? But if you're not open or receiving or looking at those things, sometimes you miss it, right? But you know when things are going smoothly and things are flowing and everything's going good with decisions you're making and relationships with people and things like that. Your intuition is working good because you're making good decisions and you're happy and life is going good. There's times where I know for me, Angela, I'm an overthinker. And that's a habit that I'm trying to break. Or a what if, what if this, what if this. But sometimes when you just sit back and you let things go and not try to control everything, things start running a little bit more smoothly for you. Or if a thought comes in your head, have you ever had that feeling where something's telling you you need to do this, but you're not? And then you finally do it, and how things change in your life for the better because you actually listened and you move forward with that. Little clues come to you. I get dreams. I dream about things, and it's like it's telling me you need to move in this direction. Or just certain things pop into my life that are supposed to, and I just go with it. It's when you say, oh, somebody's going to be mad at me, and you don't move in that direction. How's that making you feel when you really want to do it? I'll give you an example. A few years ago, I really wanted to go to this event. There was going to be this author there that I really wanted to see. But instead, my mom wanted me to come over to her house and do a few things at her house. And I tried to talk my mom into going with me, and my mom said no. So I missed that opportunity to see that author. And I was really, really disappointed in myself that I didn't say, I really, truly want to do this. Because that might have been and will be probably my only chance to ever meet that author. And those are things that everyday life lessons or everyday choices that we make when we don't use our intuition or we don't do things that we truly want to do, we have that regret, and then we live with that regret. And it's not that other person's fault. If I would have said, oh, I understand you don't want to go with me, but I want to go and I'm going to go. And I didn't do that. And that was something that I truly wanted to do. I mean, that's kind of taking off the track of using your intuition, but it's kind of the same because I'll never probably get a chance to meet that person again.
So you could use that memory in future of disappointment because you stayed home with mum, or you made mum happy instead of doing what you wanted, to remind yourself for the next opportunity is like, am I going to sacrifice what I want just to make someone else happy? So it becomes a teaching point for your intuition to really go, here is the pattern. And I think in coaching, that's what we aim with our clients, is to show them the patterns of guilt that interfere with listening to our intuition when we're fearful of disappointing other people's expectations. And I'm wondering if we could actually pick a card now, Patti.
Sure.
And see what the affirmation cards have. And these affirmation cards, I use them as an oracle as well to remind me what to focus on, because all of the cards are built with decision points to focus on your yes. What's a yes? What's empowering you in your life to give you what you want, to focus on what's significant. So let's see if I can zoom in on the card. I'm trying to just get that.
There we go. Maybe.
Yeah.
It says I'm balanced. I'm balanced. So this card's like a reminder. Are you balanced? Are you happy in your life? Are you doing the things that you really want to do? Are you taking that time out to follow your intuition and follow what you want in life? Or is there areas that you're saying yes to that you really should be saying no to, and moving toward the things that make you want to be joyful and have harmony and really love life to the fullest? What do you think, Angela, about this card?
Yeah, I feel, in terms of how I use my intuition, that specifically for me, knowing my pattern of sacrifice would be to really look at, am I sacrificing what I want to make someone else happy? Am I balancing what I want with making the other person get what they want as well? Or am I just looking at what they want and trying to make it work? Which connects back to what you were saying earlier about the overthinker. My pattern of trying to make others happy starts this pattern of overthinking, and it cuts off the intuition, or it just overwhelms the intuition. It takes over. And that card helps me really focus on, okay, what's balanced here? And I think now in our world, we need to really, for the collective, I am balanced. It's actually about balancing in relationships, all relationships, financial, business, personal relationships. what actually works for you practically.
Mhm.
We're really going to have to look at these things. You can see it economically for the planet. We're all being asked that at a country level, which affects us all individually. But I feel in our personal relationships, we're going to have to ask, is this balanced? So that's just my read on it. So you can see how I use the cards, Patti, and take them a little bit more into what it means for me personally, but also collectively as I work intuitively with people. And
Mhm.
Patti, you also do live readings once a week with the work-life balance affirmation cards. Do you want to share?
Yeah. So on my YouTube channel, every Friday at 1 p.m. Arizona time, I'll pull a work-life balance affirmation card, and I'll share the card, and I'll share some thoughts on the card, and I'll ask the people watching or listening, what does the card mean to them? And I just explore the card and talk a little bit about the topic on the card and for the affirmation. And these cards are really good when you're struggling and you pull a card. A lot of times that card comes up and it really helps you because you can recite that card for a day, a week, a month, a year, whatever you need to help you. And sometimes you actually pull the same card a few times, I found, because it's
Yeah,
telling
remember.
you you need to work on this.
My card was for quite a while, I say no easily.
Yes.
And so I get a different card now. So that's a really big sign that I've moved through that pattern. And in coaching, we work on those patterns and give you the affirmations, help you to focus on what's the new pattern that you want to bring into your life, but also to acknowledge that old pattern and how to manage maybe patterns that are not helping you, the negative patterns working against you. And that's great that you've got the live videos, because I see them come into my feed on YouTube, and then I get an insight into what's going on in my life. And I may not watch them the day you do it live. It comes a few days later. So it's always interesting to see what's coming up.
And it's a premiere. So, but I'm there. So if anybody puts questions, I can answer them in the chat. And yeah, please join me. It's really fun. I think it's fun. I really enjoy it.
Thanks, Patti, for having that for us, because I enjoy getting it in the feed because I'm sleeping when you're doing it live. So if I get it on the weekend or sometimes a Monday. So it's really interesting when it comes, that time it comes, it's sort of there for a reason. So we usually have 2 questions in these lives, and they're to provoke you to contemplate what works for you, what resonates for you, what doesn't resonate for you. So the next question we are offering is, what strategies do you recommend to set healthy boundaries in personal and professional relationships while staying true to ourselves? And we're just offering that. We're going to give you some recommendations. And the key of this part of this question is, what are the strategies that will help you stay true to yourself? We're going to freestyle on a few ideas of how to stay true to yourself when you're setting healthy boundaries. So, Patti, what strategies do you recommend for healthy boundaries?
Number one, I ask myself, do I feel good about this situation? Whatever decision that I'm going to make, does this feel right to me? Does this feel like it's truly what I want to do? And there's a reason why I want to do it. And I think about, okay, I need to listen to what's my intuition is telling me, or how my body feels, all of those different things. So kind of like the situation I told you about, where I didn't tell my mom no, and I went over to her house instead of going to see the author. Did that feel true to me? Did that feel good to me by saying yes to my mom and not saying yes to go see the author? No, it didn't. It felt wrong. It kind of felt not good. And I should have set up that boundary. I should have said, okay, you don't want to go with me, but I'm going to go. Because that would have felt right. I wouldn't have had regret not going, but I decided to not say yes to going and seeing the author, and said yes to my mom, which we really didn't do anything that day, really. And it kind of made me sad, that I didn't stand up and say, oh, I really want to go see this author instead. Not saying that I don't enjoy my mom's company or anything, but that was something that I was kind of looking forward to, and I really wanted to go to. So how could I set up that healthy boundary without hurting my mom or making my mom sad? I think what I could have done was said, hey mom, can we meet another day? And compromise so that I could go and see the author. And I would still have time to spend with her. I would have just rescheduled it on another day that was good for her and for me. And that would have been setting up a good boundary. And I would have been listening to my true self and making myself happy, going somewhere that I truly wanted to go.
That's really interesting, Patti, because what you're describing for me is that in the moment, having a habit of fear of maybe upsetting someone, instead of really going into what I really want, I go into the fear.
Mm-hmm.
And if I could just take the time to go, hang on, what do I really want? And then allow the creativity or a solution, an option for that to happen, to maybe reschedule or make a request. But I think so often being a habitual people pleaser, you get stuck in that fear and you can't come up with solutions. You just go into non-action or inaction and passivity and surrender to like, okay, I'll just do what's not healthy and think I am making somebody else happy, but still feel that yucky feeling inside, like something's not right.
Mm-hmm.
So another strategy related to that for me, which I've spent a long time working on over the years, and so it may not be easy, but with support, you can work on this with someone and talk it through, is really clarifying what is it that you want. So in the example you've given us, Patti, you really want to meet the author and have this creative experience. It's like the best possible outcome. But what happens is when we think about disappointing or upsetting or making someone angry, we lose connection to that thing that you really want and we go into fear. So I've spent a lot of time going into what do I really want and making that a priority anytime. Like it could be before I go to sleep and I dream on it. What do I really want here? I usually do it as well if I notice I'm in fear and shutdown mode. I go, okay, you're in fear, but what do you really want? And I've developed and cultivated that habit because you can't set a healthy boundary if you don't know what you want. For me, I need to get really visceral and physical. So in my dance classes, we actually do movement to really feel what naturally feels good in the body, to help me own what I want, to just feel positive about feeling good in my body and having what I want. And to also, if it's something that I want in my life more of, I might need to work with movement because I'm a dance healer. So I use movement to actually feel more openness in my body and to feel more connected to that middle part of my body, the organs and the belly and the heart area and the throat area, to feel more comfortable in terms of just being, I'm okay to receive what I want. So that's what I do with the dance healing, because sometimes even just thinking about what do I really want, if you've got patterns of people pleasing, you just think you're not allowed to have what you want. You just grow up thinking, oh, no, why should I have what I want? It's not important what I want. It's the parents, they get what they want, or my brother or my cousin or my auntie or whoever. So having those visceral skills for some of us will be really valuable. And then in the moment, over years of practicing, focusing on what I really want, I have to verbalize it to others. So I spend some time just writing down how I could say it in one sentence. Because this is what I've noticed with unhealthy boundaries, is that people go into entitlement. I deserve this because you're somebody who should give this to me. And that doesn't really work. I think, yeah, you're just sort of laughing at it, right? It just sort of comes off as entitled and you should give it to me because I'm very insecure and you should just make me happy because I don't feel happy inside. So when we ask for what we want, when it comes from a place of you're not taking anything from the other person, you're not saying the other person's hurting you or they're a bad person, but you're just coming from, I deserve this because I want this. And if you can put it in one sentence and verbalize that to the other person without making them wrong, the boundary becomes enlivening, becomes like a joyful thing that you're asking for. In the case of going to see the author, it's like, look, I really would like to spend time with you, Mum, when I'm not thinking about this other thing. Can we have another day that we have this together? And also being very honest, I had a schedule conflict and I didn't know, but I'd really like to be more focused with you and have more fun with you and also do this other event that I want to go to. So really sitting in that and saying, I want to have this creatively, but then having a phrase that you can put to the other person. So this is what I've found with coaches and working with them over the years, being able to verbalize those things in short sentences. Because most people, when it comes to boundaries, tend to do it in a very, in my opinion, demanding way. And I don't think, and people energetically, they can feel that when you're sort of asserting a boundary out of a place of trying to cut them out or tell them what to do, they will feel that. They'll sense that you're not feeling like you deserve this healthy, wonderful thing. You're just enforcing it because you feel like they're violating your time or your space or your needs. They're not respecting them. So a healthy boundary is one that comes from a lot of not entitlement, but about joy about what you're claiming in that opportunity. And yeah.
And you're working with that person in a way that they're also benefiting in some way.
In some way, they might be benefiting. I think that could be another topic for us as well, Patti. Yeah, because what about those boundaries sometimes where the person is not really getting a good deal or you're having to say no to them and they do get hurt? Because I think I'm curious if anyone in the audience is interested in us exploring that, because sometimes people, you have to end the relationship or you have to break up a sort of agreement that you had. And there were expectations on the other side. But also understanding that sometimes as we're looking at our collective energy in the planet, we're renegotiating the boundaries often have to be about renegotiating a relationship. What are the new rules? And we have to be in some ways positive about asking for what we want And if that means it's going to upset the other person because they have to change something, maybe they get less time with you, maybe they won't be able, maybe you need to end the relationship. That's something that also needs empowerment from a good place as well, because even if the other person appears to be not getting a good end of the stick, as they say, sometimes we won't go forward with a boundary because we think we're hurting them and they're getting something different, but they'll get upset. But we actually have to see, can we get into communication about that? Because if your needs are not getting met and the new boundary is about enforcing what you need and the other person's needs are going to be conflicted because they might have to lose something that they used to get from you, then you need to have some conversation about that as well.
Right. Talking and communicating your needs, and they can communicate theirs. But it's also, sometimes you're right. Sometimes you have to say no firmly or end the relationship. But thinking about, is this hurting me? Is this relationship not a good thing for me? And things like that. Definitely, you have to put up those boundaries and you have to be firm. Yeah.
Great. So I'm curious if that could be another topic that we can explore, how to renegotiate the parameters of a relationship, when a boundary can be used to start a conversation about how to renegotiate the relationship
Mm-hmm.
to support your needs. Because I know that a lot of people, when I used to do work with breakups, their needs often get the couple's perception about the relationship, their needs has changed, and the perception of the relationship needs to grow as well.
Yeah. And it's talking about those things. And a lot of people don't talk, they avoid.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of avoiding, let's think about maybe how we could look at bringing forward a conversation about the new needs in the relationship. That's definitely a big part of setting healthy boundaries.
Yes.
So was there anything else regarding this second part, the strategies for healthy boundaries? I feel like we've come to a good place there, Patti. Maybe in the audience.
Yeah. Just remember that, how are you feeling inside? And what can you do to make that better for you? And is it feeling comfortable for you to really determine, okay, what do I want out of this relationship? Am I getting what I want, and are they getting what they want from the relationship? Is there something that we both need to work on so that we can make this relationship work? Is it boundaries? Is my intuition telling me which way should I go? Am I in the right direction, or am I in the wrong direction? And everybody truly wants to be happy and enjoy their life. And just doing those little things to make some enjoyment in your life is very important. So listening to those opportunities that arise within your daily life, if there's something that you truly want to do, take that opportunity and do it. Don't say, oh, I can't because I have this, when you can actually say, oh, you know what? I want to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. And hopefully people understand that. And if they don't, find out why. Communicate. Say, why can't we change the plans? Why can't I do this? Ask questions so that you understand instead of assuming what's going on. I think that's a lot of times we think something, but that's not what's actually happening, right? And then once you talk about it, you find out it was totally different than what you thought.
Yeah, that's so true. I love that. Like if we just stay in communication, that's how we can create the healthy boundary or the new parameters of the relationships. Great. So thank you so much for sharing today, Patti, and for sharing the affirmation, I am balanced. Let's see how we can move forward this month. Each month we'll have a new topic for the live stream in the podcast. We'll be able to find the recording on YouTube and our Facebook pages, and we'll have the description in the show notes. And you can also check out my classes are coming up for the Empaths Guide. So I do energy healing and protection for empaths, intuitives, and HSPs. And so in the show notes, I've got the link for the next ones coming up and my Dance for Joy classes as well, online and in person in Sydney. So Patti, did you want to share what you'll be doing this week and this month as well?
Yeah, and I wanted to also share Angela's ebook will be also in the notes. The Empaths Guide, how to stop taking on other people's energy. Real important. You got to check it out. For me, come to my YouTube channel. You'll see the weekly card reading, card affirmation cards that I talk about, and hope to see you there.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. Have a great month. See you next time.
Bye.